sometime. I need to break and make a new name. Let's open our eyes.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Razor's Edge for Rookies. My name is Reese Williams, and today's tip is going to be how to create a donor profile. Now, if you are a development director or a major gift officer, and from time to time you'd like to be refreshed on the information you have about a constituent before you're off to a meeting with them, this would be a handy and helpful tip for you. Okay, so to build one of these, you would open up any constituent record. Now, from the very top, you'll notice a row of buttons on a constituent record, and you can notice this one right next to where it says Preview, and there's a small arrow next to it. And if you click that, you have these options down here. One's called a constituent profile, one's called an individual. Just click the constituent, open it up, and it's going to basically ask you for a parameter file. In this case, we're going to create a new one, and I'm going to show you what this is used for down the road. So I will say Add New. And what we're going to do is basically go in and identify the amount of information that we want on a person's record. So you'll see it's a 3-tab process. It starts with General, Profile, Content, and then Format. Let's go to tab 2, which is the Profile Content. Now, the amount of information that you see down here on the left, a lot of times if you are off to one of these meetings, you don't necessarily need to see every bit of this data. So a quick way to just undo it, I'm going to right click and say deselect all, so we can go and sort of build it by hand together. Now, the stuff you'll probably want to see their name, the biographical information, maybe their address, a constituency code, spouse, business, education. You don't need banks or financial, maybe some relationships. And let's scroll down to some of this other stuff. If they are a company, you would like to see the contacts and employees. In this case, you know what, I'm going to just take it off so you understand that you can modify these as you need. As we scroll down, we'll take a look at giving history and gift summary. Now, a lot of times you don't need any of this other stuff. You know, you have stuff like notes, salutations, all this kind of stuff. A lot of it is just there in case you need it, but you don't really need all this stuff. Now let's go over to the Format tab, and from here, we're going to call it Constituent Profile. And now here's where it gets really nifty. We can actually go put in a color scheme, and what we'll do is we're going to give this a name. Now let's assume this is going to be the profile that your big boss wants every time they go to meet a new or an existing client. So we would say big bosses profile report. And watch what happens when you say save and you preview. This report would be something that you can generate on the fly from anybody's record now. So after the profile is generated, you can print this off, hand it to the boss who's about to go out and have this meeting. And if you see, basically it'll go through each page. Each page has a little bit of a breakdown of all the stuff we've picked. It'll show their giving history, a list of their donations, their gift summary, which shows their first, latest, and greatest. Also a breakdown by, you can break it down by campaign, fund, appeal, whatever you'd like to do. And the nifty part about this is it gives you a snapshot that, when you're about to go sit down with a client, you remember things like the spouse name, maybe where they live, some of the notes you might have put on this, and this becomes a handy tool. Now, where this becomes helpful is not so much after you've built it, but now let's imagine it's a few days later, and now your profile has been saved, and down the road, your boss has a meeting with somebody else. So let's say the meeting they are having is with this person. Now, again, right from the screen, I can now go up and say choose constituent profile, pick Big Boss's profile, select it, and it will go generate this report, and I can kick it out, print it out, and now my boss has it on the way to the meeting. You see how that works? Nifty little trick. I hope that helps. For all your training needs, be sure to check us out at razorsedgeforrookies.com, and have a wonderful year.